Hi, I'm sitting here with DJ Adams in SAP Inside Track in Brussels, and we just had a talk about code exchange terms of use. And I want to take the opportunity to let DJ maybe have a little chat about what he currently thinks about the terms of use, what his main pain points are, and where you would like to see those terms of use change so that they make more sense to you or help you to really use it in your day-to-day work.
Well, first of all, before we go into that, I want to take this opportunity to say I think what SAP is doing, and specifically what you're doing, is fantastic. I couldn't imagine this sort of conversation, this sort of talk that you did today, the activities that have been going on for the past 12 months. I couldn't imagine that was happening, 2 or 3 years ago. I think it's really refreshing. Yes, there are issues which we'll come on to in a second, I'm sure, and what we talked about before.
Yeah.
But I think it's really encouraging that we're going in the right direction. We're going in the right direction. We're going in the right direction together. The engagement, from last year at TechEd with Michael and with you and with all the work that's been done. I mean, there's one side which is obviously the technical side, building the stuff, which is really cool. But I think that's not the problem.
No, it isn't. Yeah.
You've always said that that's never been the issue, and you've always been upfront and said that the biggest issue is, of course, the legal framework around the whole thing. So, first of all, absolutely hats off, because I think it's brilliant, the direction. The specific issues, and I haven't been close to, I'll be very honest, I haven't been close to what's been going on in the code exchange area for the past 6 months or so. I've been head down with other stuff. I've not been avoiding it deliberately, but heads down on other stuff. But I think the issues that came out in the talk today, and not the issues, but the things that need addressing, are mostly revolve around the way that the license has been written right now, and as opposed to what the intent of those licensing terms and agreements have been established. So let me say it another way. I'll give you one example. There's an intent to indemnify, and that attempt to indemnify is almost like too loose, and is causing some concern with developers, including me, or caused us, when we first saw it, caused some concern to the extent we thought, hold on a minute, if we look at the terms as they're written down in the terms of use, we look at the wording, it's like if somebody were to go to SAP and say, we're really not happy with the way the software works, it's broken our system, it's caused us downtime and so on, SAP would then turn around to us and say, hey, you're responsible for this, you take the whole load of this. Now, from what I've heard, and of course, from what I imagine as well, that's not the intent of the terms at all. So I think there's a gap between the actual term wording right now, the intent, and also the interpretation by the people at the other end. Okay, we have the legal end of things. We have you in the middle, or your group in the middle, and then we have at the extreme end, and I suppose I would class myself at the extreme end in certain ways, the people who have grown up with GPL, Apache licenses and so on. And we almost naturally have an adverse reaction to any wording that could cause us some pain in the future. And so I think that's the core of what needs addressing. And if it is only that, and everything I've seen so far has pointed to the direction of, okay, well, you're open enough and honest enough to say, okay, this needs rewording. We need to relook at this. We need to establish together, and you and me and Ethan at least are going to talk after this to work out better wording for the definition, for example, of what an add-on is.
So it's clearer to you what this is really.
It has to be clearer.
Yeah. So it's mainly about the IP that you're putting into your code, and not the code itself that you need to support in some kind of way, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's right. Exactly right. And the other thing of primary concern, or the top of my concern list, not because it's hugely worrying at all, but it needs addressing in the words, is the definition of an add-on. For it, as an example, and I'm sure that Ethan will and other people will give other examples. In the definition right now, it would seem that anything that connects to SAP at all and consumes data or calls functionality in SAP is classed as an add-on. Now, that's our interpretation, as in developers, our interpretation of the words that have been written in the TOE right now. Now, as you've already expressed, that's not your intent. The intent is more, from my understanding, to protect the IP and to not remove or not make the SAP system redundant.
Exactly, so that you don't take the IP that is in the system, in the SAP system, somewhere else.
That's right, yeah.
And that what you add as a functionality is something that is missing in the SAP system, right?
Yes.
But I think that's not the point, right? So that's understood, right?
And that intent, the intent that you've just expressed right now, I'm very happy with that. That's fine.
Okay.
What worries me, and we know that we can fix that worry, is the way that's been expressed appears as though anything that connects to SAP at all, whether it's through representational state transfer, SOA, flying chickens, whatever, by definition of the fact that it's touched the SAP system, it becomes an add-on.
Well, I can tell you that the chicken thing is not an add-on.
Okay. It's
so we can check mark that.
We can discount that one.
Was ist jetzt deine Intention?
You want to join us?
We're making a video now.
Yeah, so you can sit next to us and add to the conversation.
Okay.
So we just have also Uwe Fetzer jumping into the discussion with Jay Adams. So let's see if we can put everybody together. So on the screen, okay.
My question is, what's your intention? Do you want your code to be an add-on, or don't you want your code to be an add-on?
That's a very good question. I mean, for me personally, I want to be able to make a choice at the time of coding. So I might want to say, yes, I want this to be treated as an add-on.
But if you need to distinguish between just coding something for a specific purpose and have it somewhere in your environment, and to have it somewhere posted on Code Exchange, because that makes a difference then, right? So if you want to put it in Code Exchange, that's when the terms of use really try make sense to you, right? If you don't just have it in your environment with your NetWeaver developer license, it is not very relevant, right? But whether or not it is an add-on or not, right?
Yeah.
It's only in the case where you put it on Code Exchange.
Yeah.
And what's your feeling on that, about whether you want software to be an add-on or not? Auf Deutsch.
Nee, es geht nicht um die Sprache, sondern was ich darauf antworten soll.
So you don't know yet, right? You need to think through.
I'm fighting with myself. For example, Tweetup. Should I put
Tweetup is a Twitter ABAP client, right?
Yeah. Should I put Tweetup on Code Exchange and all? I don't have access anymore. It's once it's on Code Exchange, I cannot publish somewhere else. And like we discussed yesterday and today, I have problems with it. And I have to think about it.
I mean, but that's mainly a decision about let's say the business scenario you want to run, right? Right. So what you want to if you want to put something, for example, on Code Exchange, have those potential X million users seeing it, but then having the terms of use in place that define what is allowed and what's not allowed.
And the consumers have also to sign the terms of use. If I only publish on Google Code, they don't have. This the next question.
I think maybe part of the difficulty in making that decision seems to be based on the fact that Code Exchange is not just a Google code
No, it's
hosting or a GitHub. It's that plus a marketplace.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the difficulty arises.
A marketplace for non-commercial software.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
For an enterprise software company, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's basically something that's not existed before. Certainly not in the enterprise context either. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like we're trying to climb 3 mountains at once.
Right, and that's the confusing thing right now for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're thinking we're too fast now, right?
No, don't slow down. Do not slow down, whatever you do, and this is so important to continue.
I mean, that's why we need the help of you guys, right? Giving us feedback, what you expect and what your concerns are, so that we can address them. And as I said today in the presentation, the terms of use are not written in stone. This is something that evolves. I mean, just today we found out 2 or 3 little things that we can address in an updated terms of use document that makes it easier for some of you to sign it, right? After this exactly, presentation today.
But I think in the don't slow down context as well, I think the most important thing, as well as the blogs that you're writing, is for you and whoever else, but primarily you, to come to these sorts of events. Because it's only, I mean, all right, you were at SAP TechEd 2009, and I was there as well. But I didn't get a chance to speak to you, and it was more about the launch and how the code works and everything. So this is the first opportunity I've had to almost have the ideas of code exchange pushed into my face, because it's important for me to understand what they are and to be able to make that decision. At the moment, I can't make that decision now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm a lot better informed than I was 12 hours ago.
Yeah. Okay.
So this sort of event, SAP Inside Track, SAP TechEd, where you can actually sit down next to somebody or on the board. That's so important, because people, for example, I'm one of them. I know you blogged a few things. I've scanned them. Oh, no, too busy. I can't deal with that.
And here now
right
you have me in person. And you can grab me and
exactly,
squeeze everything out that you want to know.
But also, not only can I grab you, can we grab you, but you can grab us.
Yes, right. Just like I got your feedback now, right? Or just like we're doing right now, right?
So I think that's really important, because I think the progression that, and this is me sort of hand wavy because I've not really been paying attention that much, but the progression that seems to have taken place yesterday and today is almost equal to the progression of the past few months when you've just been writing blogs and so on.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important.
Okay, great. I would say, at least for me, thanks a lot for having you here and listening to me and getting your feedback. And just use Twitter as you did in the past. I mean, I'm following you now, Uwe. So I was very grateful to have your feedback and critical feedback. Also the same for Ethan. And hopefully I can get him later on. And hope to see you at TechEd maybe, or maybe at another Inside Track.
Inside Track Netherlands is in, I don't know, October, November, something like that. Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Yeah, possibly.
And next Inside Track is February next year in Bonn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, maybe we can.
Or Frankfurt, I don't know. I think Frankfurt is next time.
Okay.
Local systems.
Maybe that. Yeah, right. I want to talk to those guys too.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Rui.
Thanks. Very good. Thanks, guys.
Right. Sorry.